In Britain, it's now illegal to shout, "I love bacon," because it's offensive to Muslims and you could be arrested.
We love bacon! Why? Because I like bacon. They're saying he likes bacon.
Let's not forget, this country is becoming crazy. Over the last few years, we've had a number of weird decisions. For example, Thanet District Council said that the Labour Control Council started to fine people and give penalty notices, £100 by the way, for swearing in the streets, for using bad language. I mean, what? Again, this has gone away from just inciting violence. And then the next level was, well, if you say something that somebody could perceive it as hateful, and that could be considered as violence, we could come for you. And then the next level was, what you say is legal, but could be emotionally harmful. Some people could get offended. That was the next level. And then, just swearing on the streets, you could get arrested. Obviously, that happened in Thanet, as we've seen before.
It said I had to take it down because it was a nuisance. Now, for it to be causing a nuisance, surely it's got to be making a noise, or it's got to be offensive, or something like that. But with it being a Union Jack, I don't see how it could offend anybody, really, that loves their country.
London's best fish and chip shop has been ordered to remove a Union flag by council officials. The Golden Chippy in Greenwich, that's in South London, has been asked to remove its mural depicting the Union flag being held by a humanoid fish. You can see it there. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? It made me laugh. There we go. The slogan saying, "A Great British Meal," because it's been deemed inappropriate for the area.
No, guys, the optics of police arresting the guy with a Union Jack. Can I ask, sir, did you say anything?
To move back, please,
Yeah, I've moved back. I can still speak to your prisoner, though. Yeah. But just think of the optics and the politics of this nation. You don't want to start a civil war arresting an Englishman for flying a Union Jack when there's people here literally tacitly supporting the October 7th.
The UK government has new legislation on the way that will allow the exclusion of convicted criminals from places such as pubs, football matches, and concerts, travel and driving restrictions, and requiring them to stay in a designated area. The law will make it possible to issue such bans for all types of offences, the government says.
Far too long we've been silent, we've been oppressed, we've been made to feel ashamed to wave a Union Jack and support our British Christian values. And it is time for us to stand up, find the courage to say enough. We don't mind legal migration. In fact, a lot of people, doctors, nurses, have brought great skills into this country, but the illegal route and the amount of violence that's coming from these countries, and we can't say anything in fear of being called racist. Well, how is being British racist? So I've come here and I'm surrounded by fellow British men and women. We're smiling, we're happy, we're waving our flags with courage and pride, unashamedly so.
It's got it, you know where he's stationed at? Okay, good, he shouldn't be hitting people.
It's amazing.
Oh, that's okay, good, he shouldn't be hitting people. You know? No, he hit me. He should be arrested for you. I'm okay, they shouldn't be hitting me. That's not fair.
They've all got over.
We've seen all of it, we've seen it. And, you know, like I say, there's real evidence of
Oh, shouldn't have hit me. There you go. How good are they? They've all got over.
real evidence of
They've all played ball, let the ambulance go.
Oh, sorry, send it back, run over.
There's real evidence of
Really
good. It's here. It's a good news here.
Ironically, you said
I should put him under citizen's arrest, really. Yeah, for no reason.
There is a possibility.
For no reason. A lady under arrest.
Once again, the lads are acting as security today.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've all got the same signs, so they get handed out. And most likely it's from through the unions. That's very disgusting behaviour from the crusty left waffen, I might add, in this video. I'll link to Wesley's video in the video description, folks, so if you want to watch it, please do. And I heard this from this servant of the people. See this guy here? Don't make me laugh. Have a listen to this, everyone.
So guys, you see the crowds here come to a squeezing point outside the pub. Okay, they're encouraging fighting. Very interesting.
Fascist neighbour.
Look at you mug, absolute mug.
Second line back here.
What are you doing, mate?
If you see any flashes left or right, you deal. Second line back here.
What are you doing, mate?
If you see any flashes left or right, you deal.
Who's a fascist officer? Did you just say if you see any fascists?
I heard that.
Officer, you said any fascists. He said if you see any fascists. Bloody hell, the officer literally said if you see any fascists left and right. So you kind of see what side the police are taking at the minute, guys. Not neutral at all. Bought and paid probably by Stand Up to Racism crowd who are funded by the unions, who are supported by the Labour Party. This is why they come out in mass, all fully funded. It's probably why they also got there we go, and that's probably why they're getting a bus journey back home in the last protest.
Did you hear that? He was calling street journalists, or auditors, or whatever you want to call them, and locals fascists, and that they should be dealt with. Did you hear that? And the most worrying bit is he's a commander saying this. He's not just a regular police officer, he's actually commanding a unit. Now the politicised police is the Stasi, the Gestapo, everyone. And he's commanding every one of those police officers around him, and not one batted an eye at calling us essentially Nazis. The enemy of our nation, how dare they? People like us, the working class, are the ones that fought and died to end fascism. Who does he think he is, everyone? I want his job. I don't want people like that in the police force. And all the rest too, for not saying anything and not doing anything. It's not impartial, is it? It's not an impartial force if that's the case. They're not acting without fear or favour with that language. He's a jackboot, and all of them are jackboots. Self-proclaimed haters of English people protesting, and let's be honest, this is housing migrants that then prowl our children and commit heinous acts against the vulnerable. Now, do you think they're the only ones using this disgusting language against mothers and fathers of the area? Do you think it's just these individual police officers? I don't either. I think it's systemic. It should be called out. Politicised police acting as judge and jury and wanting to police what you do, where you go, what you say, how to act, and what you should be upset about. All handed down, obviously, from above to cops like him and them. Reminds me of the words of Winston Churchill. He warned many, many years ago. Now I know, some will say he wasn't a good man. I know he wasn't a good man. He was very, very, very flawed. But he had moments, and this was one. Have a listen to his warning.
Socialism is in its essence an attack not only upon British enterprise, but upon the right of an ordinary man or woman to breathe freely without having a harsh, clumsy, tyrannical hand clapped across their mouths and nostrils. But I will go farther. I declare to you from the bottom of my heart that no socialist system can be established without a political police. Many of those who are advocating socialism or voting socialist today will be horrified at this idea. That is because they are short-sighted. That is because they do not see where their theories are leading us. No socialist government conducting the entire life and industry of the country could afford to allow free, sharp, or violently worded expressions of public discontent. They would have to fall back on some form of Gestapo, no doubt very humanely directed in the first instance. And this would nip in the bud opinion at its source. It would stop criticism as it reared its head, and it would gather all the power to the Supreme Party and the party leaders rising like stately pinnacles above their vast bureaucracies of civil servants, no longer servants and no longer civil.
I'll leave that there. Please share it, everyone. Help open up the nation's eyes. I count on every single one of you, and I thank you for it. Stay sane. I'll see you on the next one.
Labour is now trying to put 20,000 illegal immigrants in 5,000 homes across Britain. We've got veterans being evicted in Bolton, victims of domestic abuse living in shipping containers in London, but Yvette Cooper will bend over backwards for illegals. Get ready for some shocking statistics that came out today. The number of asylum seekers in Britain is at a record high. There are 111,000, that's up 14%. Illegal arrivals are up 27%. There were 49,000 in the year to July this year. We can add a few thousand more on top now that we're in late August. Channel migrants account for 88% of illegal entries. So just imagine that. If we stop the boats, we'd have 88% less illegal entries. Since January 2018, 3/4 of small boat arrivals were men, while only 16% were children. I mean, just say that again. Since January 2018, 3/4 of small boat arrivals have been men. And I actually believe of those that were children, quite a few are actually men as well. The number of asylum seekers in hotels is up by 8%. We've got more than 32,000. Do you want to know what countries they've been coming from as well? Here's the top 5. Afghans, Eritreans, Iranians, Syrians and Sudanese. Well, in Finland, they've just done a study on whether migrants are a net benefit or a net cost to society. Shall we take a little look? Gosh, look at that. Migrants in the Middle East and North Africa are a huge net cost, and so are those from other non-Western countries. The government spent about 4.7 billion quid on the asylum system last year. That is apparently the equivalent of 16 million winter fuel payments. That's according to Professor Matt Goodwin of this parish online. Oh, and by the way, your energy bills are going up again in a couple of months. Nice, isn't it? Get a load of this. This is the legal visas we've handed out. Just 14% of long-term visas that we've handed out have been for people actually coming here to work. The rest are relatives, students, refugees.
Millions on them to be housed, to be fed. Half the people here probably ain't got driving licences, but they can have free lessons, free driving licences, free phones.
Right, folks. You here voted for Reform UK? Yes. Okay. Now, did you know that Reform UK said not to turn up here today?
Yes.
Yeah. What's that all about? Yeah, right.
Does that work better?
Right. Reform UK don't want you here protesting. They don't want to hear people out on the streets because they want to go for the middle ground. They want to appeal to left-wing voters as well as right-wing voters. They don't want to deport all the illegal immigrants. They don't. Nigel Farage said himself it was impossible. Impossible. It's not impossible, it's necessary.